Okay. Hi, it's nice to have you here. As we are a small group, I think I'm going to do this a bit different. I will start with introducing the speakers that I have the honor of having here with us, and then I will actually maybe have very short, like 30-second introductions from all of you, so that we know what the group is about. And then we'll go on with the questions that we have prepared and lead the discussion with the entire group. So, welcome to Cyprus Innovation Profile, attracting foreign investment, and instead of selling services, I will use the title exporting services, as will actually point to me that it makes a better sense of showing that out. So I have four honorable speakers. His Excellency, the Ambassador, Yoshio Yamawaki, Ms. Eleftheria Ioannou from the Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Kyriakos Atouni from Invest Cyprus, and Dr. Evagoras Xydas from IREROBOT and Frederick University. Welcome, my speakers. It's an honor to have you here. Your Excellency, please tell us a bit first about your background so that the people learn a bit more about you.
It reach? Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Yoshio Yamawaki, Japanese ambassador to Cyprus. Hero. I was appointed as ambassador of Japan to Cyprus 2 years ago, and before that, I have been working for the Ministry of Education and Science in Tokyo, Japan, for more than 30 years. And after that, I have a chance to become here as an ambassador. And after that, I'm trying to expand our bilateral cooperation between Japan and Cyprus in many fields, including people-to-people exchange, cultural activities, education, or research, or innovation. So I'm very happy to be here to discuss, especially about the investment futures in Cyprus, which I'm very much interested in. So I'm very happy to be here. So I'm looking forward to the fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Eleftheria, the rest of the people I know well, the three panelists. So, Eleftheria, please.
You hear me, right? First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to participate in this important event, the Cyprus Forum. It is a pleasure and honor to share the floor with the esteemed panelists and discuss about Cyprus emerging innovation technology prospects. My name is Eleftheria Ioannou. I am a senior commerce and industry officer at the Ministry of Energy, Commerce and Industry. With over 20 years of experience in the ministry, I now lead the services promotion dedicated to enhancing the extroversion of the Cypriot companies. Given the international competition and intense challenges that are put upon us in the recent years, the Ministry's role is even more important in supporting the companies in expanding their business horizons.
Thank you, Eleftheria. I'm Kyriakos.
So my name is Kyriakos. I work with Invest Cyprus at the moment as an investment promotion officer, but my background is in biotech. So I spent 2 years building companies and communities in San Francisco and London, and came back to Cyprus this February. And I'm very excited to be here because I think Cyprus is at a pivotal spot in history and also located within like a very very special place in the world. And yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in this new digital space or economy that we're building. Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Last but not least, and I will say this and embarrass you, I know Evagoras because he was a classmate of mine when I was in secondary school. So we go and beat back. Welcome, Evagoramu. Evagoras is an academic at the University of Frederick University, and also is one of the successful startups, has one of the successful startups on the island, and he started the startup after breaking through his academic career from University of Cyprus, starting the startup, if I'm correct, and then going back to Frederick University. So, Evagoramu.
With Styliani here, I cannot hide that I started studying at my 20s. She was my classmate. I'm not sure if this is what makes an entrepreneur. So indeed, I'm here representing two words which are not so adequately interconnected, in my opinion, on our island, and we can discuss it later. This should be merged into one word in the coming years: the academia and the business or entrepreneurship domain. At Frederick University, my basic background, which I use there in teaching and research, covers three different ranges, I want to mention this, of years. I teach dynamics, which people started studying since the ancient Greece. I teach automatic control, which people started studying in the beginning of the previous century, and it was part of the second industrial revolution. And I also teach mechatronics, which people started studying in the last 10 to 20 years, and connects the physical world with the electronics and computer. My company, IREROBOT, which is separate from Frederick, develops robotics and haptic interfaces. These are technologies that connect people with the physical and digital world through the sense of touch. The simplest haptic solution is some little bumps you get on your TV remote control, which help you orient your finger and know which button you are pressing. The most complicated that we do is a glove that when you put on a virtual reality headset, with that one you can feel virtual objects with your touch. So I stop here and thank the organizers for inviting me.
Thank you, Evagora. And this is where I break from tradition. I want a 30 seconds introduction from the people in the room. At least your name? Your name and background?
My name is Petroudi.
Okay. Okay.
My name is Konstantinos Loizou. I'm the president of Cyprus Youth Council, and also I'm the Secretary General of the Cyprus Youth Diplomacy. And I'm a chemical engineer myself, and I work for National Technical University of Athens as a researcher on a European researcher project.
Then the phone goes.
Pavlina Papalouka, I'm a brand marketing consultant for entrepreneurs. I'm a speaker, course creator, content creator.
Welcome.
Branding and social media and entrepreneurship.
Moderator, I'm a man from the street. I just dropped in now. So, yes.
Okay, the gentleman in front of Dinah. Yes.
My name is Dinah. I'm an academic at the University of Cyprus. I actually teach entrepreneurship and innovation, and I'm also mentoring several teams across Cyprus.
Hello, I'm Martinos. I'm a lawyer. I'm a member of Parliament Youth Event Profile.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Despina Kyriakou. Currently, I work in Haris Kyriakidis law firm, and I studied sociology.
Okay, welcome. We have a diverse group, so nice to have you. I will first start with questions with the ambassador, and since it's a few of us, when we go to the discussion, we can engage closer. So, Your Excellency, I'm showing my age now with the glasses. You've mentioned in an interview that Japanese companies are not yet fully aware of the potential of investing in Cyprus. In your opinion, what do Cypriot stakeholders need to do to raise awareness and attract more Japanese investment?
Question. As you said, that I don't think the many Japanese companies have enough information about the Cyprus, especially the business environment in Cyprus. So I think it's necessary to promote people-to-people contact between our two countries to get to know each other, especially about the investment circumstances in Cyprus. We have already started some initiative to improve the situation. This April, a business mission of Cyprus visited Japan, headed by Minister of Energy, Commerce and Industry with Eleftheria to Tokyo. And we discussed about the possibility of the business opportunities, and they held a business forum in Tokyo. And also in July, the Japanese mission in the field of research and innovation sector visited Cyprus to discuss possible enlargement of our cooperation in the field. And this week, the Deputy Minister of Research and Innovation of Cyprus will visit Japan to attend the Science and Technology Forum in Kyoto to discuss how to promote our collaboration and how to get to know each other in this field. And we are going to conclude MOU, Memory of Understanding, in the field of research and innovation. So with these initiatives, we like to expand our knowledge about Cyprus to get the proper interest from Japanese company.
Great, thank you. Going into the next question, which is relatively close to the previous one. Japan is known for efficiently marketing and promoting its strengths. What advice would you give to Cypriot officials that are also now visiting your country on how to better promote the island and its strengths? While Cyprus is successful in tourism, in promoting tourism, especially in the summer, not so in the winter, there is much more to the island. From your 2 years now in Cyprus, as you've mentioned, in what areas do you think we would have a better chance of effectively gaining international attention?
Yes, again, from the perspective of Japanese companies or industry, attractiveness of Cyprus as an investment destination is linked to, I think, 3 aspects, which are not the specific areas or industry, but the strong features of Cyprus. The first thing is technology. If Cyprus have original technology or unique idea of service, which we, Japan, do not have, the Japanese company will show very interest in Cyprus. As you may know, Japan has a big companies like Sony or Honda or Toyota or Panasonic. These they have a very good manufacturing technology or precise technology, but they are looking for the cutting-edge technology, which is very originality or a very unique one. If you can demonstrate such technology to the Japanese companies, they will show interest to invest in Cyprus. And second is the business environment in Cyprus. I learned in 2 years that Cyprus offer business strength in the environment for the business, which include the strategic location at the crossroad of Europe, Middle East, and North Africa, and also the well-developed tax system or regulatory system as an EU member country, and high quality of life, and so on. And also I learned that the startup ecosystem in Cyprus is rapidly growing and becoming more attractive. So this entrepreneurship on startup ecosystem in Cyprus is one of the strengthening attractiveness in Cyprus for foreign companies. And the third aspect is creative human resources you have. If you can provide creative personnel or talented resources, there will be many Japanese companies that will be interested in cooperating and investing in Cyprus. Because human resources with such ability with research, development, or talented people with knowledge and ideas, unique ideas, these are very attractive futures for the Japanese companies. So these three aspects are very important and attractive aspect in Cyprus. But most importantly, Cyprus need to show the comparative advantage comparing with other neighboring countries or other European countries in order to get more interest in Cyprus than other countries.
Makes sense. However, I will pick up from something where you said about the big companies you mentioned, like Sony, and I will go to Panasonic. I will not go to the car companies. It may be a good idea then at some point we could have maybe a matchmaking or some type of sessions where it's not just the high-level officials, but also we get ideas through to people where actually the companies come with questions, and that could also give an engagement between. So that may be another thing we can do. So thank you so much, Your Excellency. My dear Eleftheria, I'm coming to you. It's a serendipity that you were in the delegation that went to Japan. I didn't know that, so it wasn't planned that you're next to the ambassador. So, Eleftheria is also the head of services promotion at the Ministry of Commerce, Energy and Commerce. So continuing from the previous questions about promoting the country's strengths. Japan excels, as we said, at marketing its national strengths. And what do you think we are doing and we should be doing more to enhance the extroversion of our local enterprises? How can we promote the Cyprus businesses better internationally?
Thank you, Styliani. Japan indeed excels in a number of aspects, especially in the technology sector. That was one of the main reasons that the ministry decided to organize the business mission in April this year. As His Excellency already mentioned, the business mission was head by our minister, Mr. George Papanastasiou, the Minister of Energy, Commerce and Industry. He was accompanied by the Chief Scientist for Research, Innovation and Technology, Mr. Dimitris Riris, as well as officials from the Deputy Shipping Ministry. In order to showcase Cyprus' strengths, especially in technology and shipping sector, a forum was organized. The forum was attended by over 120 Japanese delegates from the government sector, entrepreneurs, business associations, press, research centers, in order to facilitate the bilateral business relations and not just the officials, as Styliani mentioned. Over 30 B2B meetings were pre-arranged and held. The Ministry also had the honor and pleasure to meet with the parliamentary Deputy Vice Minister for Trade and Industry in Japan and expressed their mutual respect and aspiration for fostering the business and bilateral ties among our two countries. Upcoming business missions before the end of 2024 are also planned to take place in Bratislava, Prague, and Switzerland. So if you are interested in finding out how your company can participate, feel free to contact me. I guess Styliani can provide you my contact details in order to find out how your company also can benefit from these type of measures. Beyond the organization of business missions, the Ministry launches a number of measures in order to support the Cypriot companies, the main of which is the organization of national pavilions in international exhibitions abroad. In 2023, the Ministry organized 8 national pavilions in international exhibitions. In parallel, the Ministry provides grant schemes in order for the companies to participate either within the national pavilion or on their own privately in other trade fairs. Moreover, the Ministry runs an export help desk that facilitates, through the cooperation of our Cyprus trade centers, the setting of companies in contact with the potential associates abroad. The Ministry currently operates 14 Cyprus trade centers abroad, in Europe, in Dubai, Egypt, United States, Japan, Tokyo, and India.
Cool, thank you. So it's the desks and the services in the countries where we have 8, you said? 14. 14. And also with the different MOUs and missions that go to the different countries, I urge you to actually do apply to participate in such missions to promote your industry or your companies and for finding solutions. I know there are calls online with the Minimis grants that will facilitate you in doing so. I haven't used the desk, but I will try to do that because it's very interesting to hear about it. Sorry, I didn't know about that. Moving to the next question. Cyprus has shown resiliency and adaptability when we've had global economic shifts. How does the Ministry of Commerce and Industry intend to leverage innovation to position Cyprus as a global player in service exports further than tourism?
Indeed, Cyprus has shown resilience. Cyprus' overall exports are above EU average, dominated by services exports. Tourism, indeed, has traditionally been the major impact. However, in the latest years, it has been compiled by financial services and maritime. Based on Eurostat statistics and also the latest exports competitiveness report that was recently published, the ICT sector has grown rapidly and is the main driver for GDP growth and the diversification of the economy, as well as Cyprus' export base. Acknowledging the enormous developments that have taken place in the last years, the main industry has decided to organize a national pavilion in the biggest global technology exhibition that takes place every year in October in Dubai, GITEX. This year, GITEX has attracted over 6,000 exhibitors from 180 countries. For the third consecutive year, the Ministry is organizing the National Pavilion in cooperation with our Cyprus Trade Center in Dubai. This year's pavilion is the biggest organized for Cyprus in a technology exhibition. This year's pavilion is hosting 14 pioneering technology companies engaged in various spectrum of activities, life sciences, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, robotics, scientific research. In fact, Mr. Xydas, representing IREROBOT, is participating with us this year. In order to maximize the participation of the Cypriot companies, the Ministry has secured slots in order to give the opportunity to companies to present their technologies within GITEX in Tech Talk sessions, but also to showcase Cyprus as an emerging technology and innovation hub by presenters like the esteemed Mr. Skouridis, the Chief Scientist. Overall, we are also organizing a networking event, and we are very glad that we will have a distinguished guest, such as the Deputy Minister, Mr. Nikodimos Damianou, the Mayor of Nicosia. We will also have the Ambassador of Cyprus in the Republic of UAE. The General Director of CYENS will also be visiting GITEX in our networking event, and also delegates from the Invest Cyprus, Mr. Kyriakos, sitting next to me, will also be attending.
We had not planned this. We're just finding out.
Okay, so I just wanted to add that working towards the Vision 2035, because yes, Cyprus has shown resilience, but the challenges remained. So the Ministry has embarked upon a study in order to analyze the competitiveness of the various services sectors, technology being among them, and also identify the best practices from trade promotion organizations abroad. We will be launching next week a public procurement, and you are all invited to participate in order to identify the practices based on the needs of the businesses and draft the action plan for the next years.
Okay, great, Eleftheria, great to hear about the public procurement for the action plan. I think one thing that is coming out of this, as I'm seeing the discussions and the answers that are given this, is that since there are people that go to this, with these delegations and to these events, I think as Cypriots and as a country, we need to have more engagement in the country between the groups, so when someone goes as a delegate, they can represent more than one teams and give information about more things. So I do think that's where 1 + 1 becomes 5, because if you go there and you have your solution, but you have another 3 solutions that you can combine with and make them have a success, you also win with them being successful too. So I think this is something that we need to do a bit better here as Cypriots, and all of us. I'm not talking just about the ministry, but I'm also talking as an EIT community officer as well as a science head, or that we need to do this a bit more, and we need to learn more about the different units. Like, I've met with a couple of companies over the past few weeks, and I was impressed by the things that they had shown about solutions with AI and about solutions in VR and XR. The more we learn, the more we can disseminate this, and the more these companies become successful, the more we can all benefit from, because it's new positions, it's new ideas, it's new solutions and new companies that need to rise to give these solutions. And it's also new markets, which is the point of this, that open to us. The ambassador, His Excellency, mentioned that Sony and the other big companies, if they find creative solutions and new ideas, they will come and they will find the way of funding them. So this is something we need to pay a lot of attention to. So Kyriakos, that leads perfectly to you. So Kyriakos is from Invest Cyprus. So in the conversation, with Leah Spencer from the Research and Innovation Foundation. She mentioned that the concept of an entrepreneurial identity, which Cyprus may currently lack due to its relatively young entrepreneurial ecosystem compared to Japan and the Silicon Valley. What can we focus on attracting investment? What are our key strengths other than natural beauty? I'm saying this also because I know that Kyriakos is from Sotira, so he's very close to Ioannou, so he's very close to that part of the island. Are there specific industries that you believe could become directly associated with Cyprus in the near future?
Thank you for the question. I just want to mention that to the point of His Excellency that we already have one Japanese company in Cyprus, Mitsubishi's MUFG, that is selling there. And so there's already, I guess, like a history of companies coming to Cyprus. That's good. So when it comes to, I guess, sectors and going beyond the beauty of the island, I think we need to focus on what we've been working on the past decade and just make sure that we realize that we're standing in the shoulders of giants moving forward. And as mentioned before, the ICT sector had like a big boom in Cyprus, mostly due to, I guess, instability around the region and having a lot of companies needing a new place to relocate. And Cyprus has a very attractive tax system, I think one of the most attractive tax regimes in the EU. And now it's also making changes in order to attract, let's say, research-heavy industries with the IP box regime that was passed like a few years ago. So moving further from that, you have like traditional ICT companies where it's like maybe a SaaS platform, so a piece of software that is owned by like a big corporation. But like these type of companies changes, and like what is a digital company? That's something that is not addressed yet. It's something that we're working on as Invest Cyprus together with the DCO, the Digital Cooperation Organization. It's like it's a network of states managed by the government of Saudi Arabia in order to help us understand what does it mean to build a digital company. Because ICT companies and digital companies are a different thing. Like ICT companies have real assets, they have offices, they have cars, and so on. But like digital companies, they don't have real assets, so it's difficult for them to get access to loans, access to insurance. So all these things, as a government, this is what we're actively working on to open up, let's say, new markets and become the digital enabler of Europe and the region in order to support investments and opportunities coming in.
Thank you, Kyriako. So we've made significant strides in offering incentives to attract foreign investors, but there is a very huge competition globally. What new strategies or evolving strategies is Invest Cyprus implementing to attract innovation-focused investment in sectors like technology, healthcare, education?
So, yeah, I guess the biggest challenge we have now is to listen from the entrepreneurs and understand like what do we need to do differently, because people in the government, there is an idea of what like an innovative state looks like, but it's definitely we need to like pull our know-how. So that's one thing that we're trying to do now. And the other thing is to connect with global stakeholders in order to learn, what we should be doing differently. As I said, the cooperation with the DCO is something that is sort of like spearheading this for the government. And I think there are plans be announced soon to set up like a digital business center that would act like as a digital node for companies that want to interact with the Cyprus environment. And I guess we have something locally, something like Digin, for example, but something more outward looking that will provide those services and access to international companies rather than local ones.
Yes, Digin is for local companies, so it would be a good idea to look at international. I think that's where there is a very good connection with the Ministry of Commerce and where that can go.
Can I add on that?
Yes.
What His Excellency was mentioning as well, like how can Cyprus provide the extra incentive for people to look into it. If you provide like the digital services to these companies, then they're more likely to sort of like be open to engage with Cyprus. Because for anyone that doesn't know, Digin has it's like the
I can explain.
But it gives access to critical infrastructure like high performance computing, cybersecurity services, and so on. So that's important for this new type of companies that want to track.
AI nodes, maker spaces, fab labs, generally a test before invest type of services that are useful to smaller companies, and also a help to be able to become more digital or be able to have kind of like the stamp of a digital company and better benefit and have more profits by using these new technologies without having to invest into them initially. You can test them and then the company can see whether to invest or not. And there is some funding for the local companies to do this. This is the European Digital Innovation Hub for Cyprus. It's called Digital Innovation, Digin. So that's what Kyriakos is talking about. Evagoras, coming to you. So, as a startup founder in Cyprus, could you share your experiences in establishing your business? Did you receive support from the government or private initiatives in areas such as funding, training, or access to information? How would you describe the startup ecosystem?
Thank you, Styliani. So I don't know where to start. It's been like a roller coaster, being an entrepreneur, with a lot of ups and downs, personal transformation, multi-level thinking, doing a lot of mistakes and learning from them. It was really what I keep mostly as most important is the transformative experience, changing as a person, and becoming a stronger character, more decisive, because this is the only way to survive in this. And so I founded the company in 2017, and I was more active on the company after returning from an academic appointment in Kazakhstan for 2 years, where I also learned a lot. Since 2018, we received funding and investments. Our first funding came from the Ministry of Energy, Industry and Commerce. It was like the first steps from these organizations, government organizations funding private firms. It was like 50,000. I think it was very, very difficult to manage and implement this project, but people in the ministry helped us a lot and managed to go through it. Then we received, I was happy, lucky to experience the transformation phase of the Research and Innovation Foundation, which moved its focus or expanded its focus from research to innovation and business as well. So after a lot of two unsuccessful efforts, we managed to get a seed funding of nearly $500,000 by the Research and Innovation Foundation, and this helped us develop know-how, infrastructure, patents. As of today, actually, we got news that our PCT claim was approved.
Well done.
And which is very important. And we also we are one of the few companies to receive investment from the first CYENS approved fund, which is Guinness Ventures Fund 1. And this is very important. We can discuss a lot about the investment versus grants. These two things are very different. And also we participated in accelerators, in IRES Accelerator, which is supported by Deloitte and Bank of Cyprus. I had to keep an open mind there because I went there from academia. I had a lot of, I don't know how this sounds, but I had a lot of boundaries in my thinking that I had to break coming from academia and trying to do business and having my ideas and research have impact and go to the world. So also a little bit about Frederick, if I may. I was surprised to see the support Frederick gives and the encouragement they give to academics in order to do their own spin-offs. They negotiate minority equity, even symbolic shareholding by the university, symbolic portion of intellectual property. They provide financial, administration, and technical support to academics. And in general, right now, they have a vision to create an internal innovation ecosystem in Frederick. I don't know a lot about how other universities work. I heard a little bit about state universities. I'm not expert on that, but I know that in comparison, Frederick is doing a really good job. They already have 3 spin-offs that are doing well. One in energy by Dr. Fogaidis, one in configurable antennas and microwaves by Dr. Konstantinidis, Dr. Nicolaou, and one is Mamotchek, which is supported by Cyprus Seeds, which exactly tries to connect academia with business, and it's for early detection of breast cancer. So, and also they have a simulation system for doctors to train on PCT scan imaging. It's an organ simulator by Dr. Karpotas. So they are doing pretty well. I wanted to talk a little bit about this as well. Thank you.
Very nice. I want to change a bit the question. How do you think it will be easier for you to export services? How have you seen this, or have you seen this from your startup? Because I know, because we're a new ecosystem, we are setting up the ecosystem here, but we also need to be able to attract the funding and attract the external and the big names and power here as well.
So first of all, when we develop hardware, the thing about hardware is that at some point the client must get it in their hands, which is very different than software and services, which you can simply do remotely. And we have a lot of challenges there. So if we are talking about exporting products, mostly I can talk a little bit about that. It's very hard. There are some people who manage to have sales of products abroad from Cyprus and expand globally, like Embryon Diagnostics with their AirBelt, for example, and Genome also. Yes. They have a lot of, there are some successful stories, but it's really, really very, very hard to create this network of sales from Cyprus. It can be done, but it's difficult because no matter what we do, we are an island. You need to put things in a ship or in an airplane, and you have additional costs and so on. So in our case, we focus on a business-to-business approach. We are already partnering with 2 companies. We are at the negotiation stage in the United Kingdom, and 2 large hospitals, again, in the United Kingdom. And this is the way we try to make it through and go and export our products. So we are talking about licensing, co-development, and reselling, and so on. Of course, having patents helps a lot.
Yeah, sure. Before going to the next question, I'm going to come back to the Ministry of Commerce. I think what you said now on how it's difficult, we are an island, so it's difficult to have the products, but you know that we have Engino and you know the ambient diagnostics, so you have the names. It would be good to have maybe mentors from also companies that give services that are more open and more well-known and more maybe not marketed, but also demonstrated so that you can see the example. When you have an apt example, apto in Greek, something that you can see and touch, it's easier for you to know you can do it as well. So maybe it's something that we need to demonstrate and be better. I'm saying from my role now as CYENS and as EIT that we would like to support this. So please open invitation to do this with you. I don't know, Eleftheria, what you think about this?
Yes, actually, having export champions, as they call it, is one of the things that we are looking during the study that we are conducting now in order to draft the action plan. And actually, that's a very excellent idea because, as Mr. Xydas mentioned, there are challenges, there are obstacles in exporting products or technology abroad. So having these export champions will assist and mentor and advise the startups or the new wares in the area.
Yeah. No, expert champions and also mentors would be great, but also from the connections that we have with countries like Japan, we can have their input as well in what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right, especially if we can link champions with the countries where they have managed to do this. That may be also quite good. I don't know your opinion, Ambassador, about this, trying to do this.
With this information, we'd like to share with the Japanese company who may have interest to cooperate in Cyprus.
Okay, that will be great. And Evagoras, you've started discussion, so that's quite good. So going on to the next question. You frequently travel, it fits right on the discussion, and interact with startups from around the world. I know you've been in a number of events, etc. What aspects from other countries do you think Cyprus could adopt to help the startups like yours grow and strengthen over time?
A very good question. So we can copy some aspects and some others we cannot. We must create our own path and our own methods. For example, if you go to countries like Finland, the United Kingdom, Germany, they have a very strong local VC system. And I want to mention just a comparison. We have a competitor in the US. We started about the same year. We got $500,000 funding, more or less, and 300,000 of investments. And our products are comparable in performance, and in this time they got 40 million investments in the United States. So you can compare the scale and understand the challenges that we face. So what I think we can do is attract VCs, create specializations to attract specific VCs, because VCs have specializations, and create a regional network with countries around us, and for example, in Middle East, Europe, Africa, also Africa is a huge market, for example, and they also have a lot of investments going on there. So this is one thing that we have to create. We don't have the critical mass so much yet to create a big local VC system, I believe, but we can create a regional system And with the help of Invest Cyprus and the ministry, so on, we can create connections to Central Europe and all these kind of VCs. Because, you know, VCs work with risk. They invest based on risk, they evaluate based on risk, everything has to do with risk. So we must create the right infrastructure, the right support here in order to make VCs from abroad connect to us in a more continuous and permanent relationship with the ecosystem. And in order to achieve this, we must show them that we give the right support as a country, so that we reduce risks as much as possible, because you cannot always achieve this. Can I say another thing? Besides stronger VC support that I see, and we must somehow also become competitive there, they have more loans in combination to investment, and these loans respect the limited responsibility that the company has. The banks invest on ideas, on risks, and they don't require personal guarantees from the founder. For example, if you have the founder put his house as a guarantee, the company is not anymore a company. It's very different. And just the difference between loan and investment is that the bank gets interest, the investor gets exit shares, and dividends and so on. So we must somehow improve the bank system in Cyprus and make it embrace risks.
So that comes back to both the ministry and Invest Cyprus, but also with Cyprus Forum, what was mentioned at the beginning on how the ideas are collected and they're tried to be passed into policy. So that is something quite important to be noted. So we have 8 minutes. I will want to do, I don't know if there are any questions from the audience before I go into one general question for the panel. Yes, hi, you have not been introduced.
Yeah, hello, I'm Andreas Dimitriou from the British High Commission here in Nicosia. First of all, thank you for your very interesting views on the general investment picture in Cyprus. What I wanted to ask is about talent and talent availability and the ecosystem impact this has. I think Cyprus has been relatively successful in attracting some major digital companies, fintech companies in the last few years, MUFG included, perhaps the biggest one in the fintech sector that we have managed to secure. From my experience in London, I remember that talent and talent availability was a very huge consideration for companies like that. I was there after Brexit, and none of the big tech companies left London because they firmly believed that they couldn't get the talent pool they had available to them in London anywhere else in Europe. I know that so far, as I said, we have had relative success, but are we really fit to go to the next stage? Are there any problems? In my mind, particularly say after Brexit, for example, MUFG, I know some people who used to work in the City of London, and they were recruited to staff MUFG here, so MUFG could get the talent it needed from Cypriots working in London. But now that may not really be a choice, given that people don't have a work permit there, so that talent pool is lost. Is there any plan? Are there any problems?
Thank you for the question. I would say, in general, when it comes to talent, yes, we have attracted quite a few people in the past years because of the fintech rise, especially in Limassol. But I think the best way forward, and I agree with you 100%, there will be a talent shortage or crisis if we go on to attract this type of companies. We need to think of Cyprus as a regional node. I think that's like the best strategy that we can move forward. And not just for investments or inbound companies in Cyprus, but also for talent as well. Like, we are part of the European Union, so I guess we already have access to the European work market or like talent market. So this is something that we can easily, let's say, attract talent from there. And there are reforms in the Cyprus startup visa as well that will be announced fairly soon, I believe, that, let's say, extend the number of people that you can bring with you and your startup into Cyprus, so we don't create some sort of like bottlenecks with regulatory requirements in setting up a Cyprus startup. So that's that. But yeah, I think the main goal is to engage the region and promote Cyprus as like a stable hub in this very unstable region that we're in. And that goes on to the investment attraction as well, because like Genesis Ventures, the diaspora of Cyprus, but also the diaspora of the region, like Lebanese diaspora, Israeli diaspora, they're also like very strong financiers of tech in the US, in London, and all these hubs. And they all want to engage back with the region, but there are risks. There are a lot of risks. And Cyprus position itself as this node that can bring people back and engage with a similar culture.
I want to add a bit to this. I think Cyprus could actually have more funds for research and innovation. I think we're lagging behind most of the European countries. I think we're in the bottom 3. And I think that is kind of remedied by centers of excellence, but not so much. There needs to be more funding that is for startups and for actual research that can go outside the universities. What Evagoras was saying about the academics being able to be an entrepreneurs is really important. We need to have and bring the talent back. I think even there's a lot of Cypriots, we mainly have brain drain from Cyprus. If we have the correct way of bringing these people back, I think we can be quite successful. And actually, we can maybe find solutions through education where people that are very talented and they want to do a shift in what they're doing, be able to do that shift to actually match where the need goes and enable them to do so. But that brings me spot on to the final question that is for all the panel. So, we are positioning ourselves as an attractive destination for foreign investment. There are challenges in competing with more established innovation hubs, and also talent and the availability of that. What strategies should Cyprus adopt, branding strategies and other, so that it can set itself apart from the global market as a leader in innovation and the services? It brings together the talent and the branding and how we can differentiate ourselves. Your Excellency, I will start from you to give us the outside perspective. You mentioned before the creativity and how that is really important.
And also, I think how to present the attractiveness to the foreign company, the people is very important. Again, from the perspective of Japanese companies, it is not clear for them what you, Cyprus, have. What kind of strengths do you have? For example, we discussed about the regional markets around Cyprus. But if Japanese company target European market, they tend to go to cities like London, or Berlin, or Paris, or other big cities. And if they go target Middle East, they tend to go to Saudi Arabia directly or UAE directly. So we need to, we want to know what is the real advantage to be here to invest in Cyprus for the foreign companies, including Japanese company. So if you can provide such information as clearly as possible, it would be helpful for the Japanese companies, as well as for me, to persuade them to have an interest to invest.
It's very important. We're also taking this message home. Eleftheria.
Yes, showcasing Cyprus' strength in innovation technology sectors are very important, and Cyprus does have quite a big basket of those, coming with the IP box, the tax environment general, the ecosystem that is rapidly growing. But I think also it's very important to showcase success stories like the MUFG story, real examples that will showcase Cyprus as an attractive destination for foreigners to come, not just telling the competitive advantages.
I will jump the queue and I will leave you last, Kyriako. Evagora mu.
So we have to do a lot of things. We have to get serious and get to work. It's very advantageous to focus on innovation. We are in a rapidly changing world, and creating an innovative society, including education in the high schools and so on, will make people more ready to face this avalanche that is actually coming. Besides that, we need, you mentioned branding, we have to do rebranding and erase some past stigma that unfortunately we carry and investors see. And it's unfair for us entrepreneurs to speak with foreign investors and having this stigma appear. So we have to focus to stop running behind money and start running behind people and behind ideas, and the rest will follow. And finally, we need to give more funding to the academia, which works between TRL, Technological Readiness Level 1 to 4, to proof of concept. We need to have more ideas coming out of there and more focused funding to expedite the ones who make it to the market. From TRL 4 to 8, which reaches the market, we want to help them expedite this procedure, including legal support, IP support, manufacturing and production support, R&D, and so on. Thanks.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. I completely... Kyriako.
I want to 100% align with the ambassador on the need to benchmark Cyprus with the region. I think this is something that other European countries are doing already. Like Invest Estonia, for example, has like an automated compare button that compares, let's say, the different interests for investors or like startups, like tax regulations or like talent accessible and so on, with competitors. And I think that's important to make the picture clear, because we go out and we say, yes, we are the best tax presence in Europe and so on, but we need to make it as clear as possible with comparisons. And on the rebranding, where actually in Cyprus we issued a public tender or public procurement called rebranding. It's 1.5 million euros. We are now evaluating the applicants. But the goal is for the next 4 years to start changing the story of what Cyprus does, how do we promote ourselves, what type of ideas do we champion for, and how do we get there. And I'm super excited for the future. Thank you.
Great. I'm out of time. If there are other questions, I'm sure our esteemed speakers will be more than happy to answer. Feel free to also contact me and I will try and answer any questions. Thank you so much. Small session, but I think it's been interesting also for all of us as well. So thank you. That's it. Thank you.